It happened fast. Too fast to think about, but just slow enough to remember every detail. I was tucked into the slipstream, engine buzzing, the cart pulling harder probably than it had any right to, close enough to know he had no idea I was there. The corner was coming. I stayed in it. He didn't. The cart in front of me just stopped. Not gradually, not predictably, just a sudden, violent drop in speed, like someone had yanked the engine out of it. I hit the brake, the rear stepped out, the front end bit just enough. He overshot the corner. Too much brake, too early, too panicked. He arrived at the corner already slow, already out of rhythm, and the cart refused to turn the way he wanted, so I slipped to the inside. Clean, controlled, exactly where I needed to be. And then he drifted back into the racing line and drove me straight off the track. That's karting. But more importantly, that's braking. Many drivers think braking is about slowing down, but it isn't. That's the lie. Braking is about arriving at the corner exactly the speed the cart needs to rotate, and not a mile an hour less. Too fast, you overshoot the corner. Too slow, you end up coasting to the apex. Every corner has two numbers. The number you know, and then the number you don't see, the number you don't measure, the number you feel. It's the point where the cart finally settles, the front tire bites, and the rear begins to free itself without fighting you. Too fast, and you push. Too slow, and you've already given the lap away. Speed doesn't just disappear when you brake, it falls. And how it falls matters. So imagine your speed as a line that you can draw between your entry point and your apex, or the point where you begin braking and the point where you begin accelerating. Imagine your speed as a line sloping downward toward the corner. The bad driver drops off a cliff. The fast driver creates a perfect slope. The cliff is panic. You see the corner, you stab the brake, and rip speed out of the cart as quickly as possible. It feels aggressive. It feels decisive. It feels wrong because now you're early. You've already hit your target speed and the corner isn't even there yet. So you wait, you coast, you watch the apex crawl towards you while the engine sits quiet and useless. It's not control, that's dead time. The diagonal is control. You ease into the brake, not soft but progressive. The cart sheds speed steadily, predictably, in a clean line from entry to apex. No sudden collapse, no waiting. You arrive at the exact moment the cart is ready to turn, and everything flows from there. The diagonal is the control. You ease into the brake, not soft but progressively, squeezing the brake. The cart sheds speed steadily, predictably, in a clean line from entry to apex. No sudden collapse, no waiting. You arrive at the exact moment the cart is ready to turn, and everything flows from there. Overbraking doesn't feel like a mistake, it feels safe. That's why it's everywhere. You hit the pedal hard, the cart slows, and suddenly everything feels under control. You made the corner, no drama. But you've already lost, because every mile per hour you scrub off too early is time you will never get back. You can't accelerate while you're waiting for the corner. You can't recover momentum that you gave away for free. And in karting, momentum isn't just speed, it's everything that happens next. The exit, the straight, the next braking zone. One mistake compounds into three. And then there's the other problem with stabbing the brake. It doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone behind you. When you hit the pedal like a switch, the cart sheds speed instantly, far faster than anyone expects. To you it might feel controlled, but from behind it looks like you've hit a wall. And in a pack, that unpredictability is where things go wrong. Late reactions, locked brakes, contact, or worse, someone avoiding you entirely and ending up off the track. Fast drivers don't just brake well, they brake in a way that makes sense to everyone around them. Smooth, progressive, predictable, not because they're being polite, but because it's faster. There's a line between control and hesitation, between squeezing the brake and abusing it. The best drivers live right on that edge. They brake as late as possible, as hard as necessary, and no more. After a while, you stop thinking about braking as a moment. It becomes a shape, a curve you draw every time you approach a corner. Too steep, you arrive early, slow, waiting. Too shallow, and you overshoot, fighting the cart on entry. But when you get it right, you don't notice the braking at all, only the result. The cart rotates, the engine comes alive, the exit opens up. And you realize something most drivers never quite figure out. The goal isn't to slow down, it's to arrive at the apex.